Shalom. All praises, glory, and honor unto Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai Ba'ashem Rekah HaKodash. Double honors unto the apostles and the bishops and the elders of Great Millstone that rule well through the scriptures. Peace to the 144,000 and the rest of the hopeful elect. I am the brother Chaya from GMS Indianapolis, the branch of Indiana. The original Gary camp is GMS Edward Ontario 2, and this will be a response to the video on screen. You see the title, Black Women Reveal Witchcraft Practice in New Reality Show. I'm going to just check some of these comments out. This is the normalizing of calling evil good and ood, and pardon me, I said ood. Ood is a good smell. And good evil. Well, wait a minute. There's a scripture right there. See, I wasn't planning on that through the spirit. What is that? What's that? Isaiah 5:20? Woe unto them that call evil good and good evil, that put darkness for light and light for darkness, that put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter. So there's been a total reversal in regard to righteousness and wickedness. They put righteousness as evil. Okay. A woman supposed to be with one man is evil in the society, right? Being under the authority of a man, being submissive. Okay. Following the Most High. Let me do that. Just whatever the Most High say is right, they say wrong. All right. At every capacity, every way, shape, form. It's so much so that, under gradualism, Esau Edom, he can change the mindset of people through gradualism. So the things your grandparents didn't accept, your parents accept, and they get worse and worse and worse. So much so now that instead of these things being in the closet, instead of these things being taboo, they're in the forefront. And not only are they in the forefront, they're being pushed. All right. It's a TV show about to be dedicated to this stuff. See, and a lot of times, it used to be back in the day, these things were accompanied by a certain look. People that were into witchcraft, you can blatantly tell. But it's so pervasive now that, it encompasses all looks. Your regular, average nigga woman, all right? Chips and cheese, oodles and noodles, bundles, all right? Jordans, the flip-flops with the flower on them, leggings and heels, all right? Who you would think wouldn't be in times past, that featured look wouldn't be associated with something like that. Now it is. We go to the little weirdo shops to buy our sage and Palo Santo and our magnetic hematite here and there. And who you seeing there? You're getting tarot readers, which you ain't got to go to those spots to get them. But in my experience, I have. And who I see in there getting readings and psychic measurements, whatever, the so-called nigga woman. And you would see her at the gas station pumping gas. All right. You wouldn't even expect her to be in that field, but she is. Same thing with the older NWs, the older so-called black women, 50 in her 50s. And I'm speaking from personal experience as I'm going into this. All right. I'm giving you real time examples. Like I seen this. All right. 50 plus 56-year-old so-called nigga women getting psychic readings. Still single. Still ain't got a man. Still overweight. Still behind on bills. All right. Let me play the video, though. Hold on. Let me
Hey, all my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel, where we embrace our femininity, increase our womanly value, and
Shalaki, I got it.
celebrate our brothers. So join me on our feminine journey to learn, heal, and grow.
Shalaki, I got to connect it to my TV. Let me disconnect it. Wait a minute.
There, my Crimson.
Hold on. Shalaki, man. Shit.
My Crimsonites.
Start it over.
Hey, all my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel, where we embrace our femininity, increase our womanly value, and celebrate our brothers. So join me on our feminine journey to learn, heal, and grow. Hey there, my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel. I'm your hostess, femininity coach, and author of The Crimson Cure, and this is my perspective. So I thought that this was really important to bring up, and I don't see anyone else discussing this. This is supposedly going to be a new reality television series that's going to be premiering on.
Oh, they quoted the scriptures, Exodus 22 and 18. You should not suffer a witch to live. Let's just get that since we over here. Hold on, wait a minute. That's in the law. We just read it. Thou shalt not suffer a witch to live. See what they got for witch. To practice witchcraft or sorcery, use witchcraft. Sorcerers. Enchant or practice magic. To whisper a spell. Offer prayers of worship.
On Apple TV and Amazon Prime, and it's going to be called Witch Please, The Conjure Family. And
Oh, wait a minute. Another comment. Pardon me, Ladies, do not play with witchcraft. Maybe they meant to put it looks all good at first, but then it destroys. Well, wait a minute. Ain't that the scripture? All right. A strange woman, lips drops as a honeycomb. Is that Proverbs 6? Proverbs 5. Isn't 6 too? But 5 though. Proverbs 5 and 3. For the lips of a strange woman drop as a honeycomb. Woman represents knowledge or doctrine. Okay. And her mouth is smoother than oil, but her end, see, it's all about the end. All right. These women and men too, we talking about the women now, but they get engaged in these witchcraft practices, astrology and tarot, because they just be curious. And a lot of these things doesn't have any restraint. There's no right or wrong. There's no discipline in it. All right. And then they get to looking all weird. They get dreads. They get the septum piercing. They get tattoos. They be super freaky. All right. Just base. All right. And they still end up single. All right. Lonely. And I noticed something. Okay. Just an assessment that I've made. A lot of their hands and feet be fucked up. Like, be real rough and calloused and ashy. But anyway, for the lips of a strange woman drop as a honeycomb, and her mouth is smoother than oil, but her end is bitter as wormwood, sharp as a two-edged sword. Her feet go down to death. Yeah, your life be trash, and then you're going to be judged. And whoever follow you going to be through too. Her steps take hold on hell. All right?
I want y'all to.
And that's any false doctrine. All right? A strange woman, anything outside of this truth of the Heavenly Father. All right? Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai in his word, the scriptures. All right? Anything outside of that is a strange woman, is idol worship. All right. Anything.
Look at this trailer for this show, and then we're going to talk about why this
Oh,
is.
sorry, I got they know all this witchcraft, but can't find a spell to make their hair grow. All right. Facts. Can't get a husband, right?
This does not bode well at all. So I want to let it play.
To see this isn't your everyday family.
I am Lala Nutiahari, the mother of 3 very powerful witches.
They've got altars, attitude, and an 8-figure brand. And now they've got a show.
You identify with a religion, or are you more so just spiritual?
Spiritual. We're doing money work for other people, but you see the way we live in it, we do the work for ourselves too.
The only thing stronger than their magic is their mouths.
I see her and I just feel like this is my time to fuck with her.
I ain't got no motherfucking life, motherfucker. There is not a day in hell that I'm gonna let them disrespect me.
From full moons to money moves, this family does it all with divine alignment.
Ancestors, spirit guides, and all benevolent entities to enter into the space.
This is The Conjure Family. New series premieres June 30th on Prime Video and Apple TV.
It's lit.
So
Altars and attitude, which leads me to, is it Isaiah 65? Let me see. And 11. But ye are they that forsake Yahweh, Bashim Yahushai, that forget my holy mountain, that prepare a table for their troop, an altar. Let's look up what they got for table. Table, a king's table, private use, sacred use. Shalachan or Shalchan. All right. By implication, the meal. Let's see. The table of showbread, right? In the temple of the Israelites, all right? The table of Yahweh, it says Jehovah, but it's Yahweh. The altar, all right? So it's the left-hand version. Left, Apostle Gabar, he hasn't brought it out in a while, but he used to bring this out. Left means sinister, sinistra. In Italian, to say left is to say sinistra. And that sounds like what? Sinister, evil. The left hand. See, when you get to going into these alternative spiritual aspects, is always the opposite of the right way to do it. The Lord's way, the righteous way. So he on your table, and they put food on the table. Look, I'm telling you, I am speaking from experience with dealing with women, okay, that deal with these things. All right, like just coming across it, This is one woman, all right, who I knew, and she actually had like a table. She had like a, I don't know, like some type of little, table. She had a tapestry above it. Like some tapestry, like a thin carpet, whatever, above the table. And it was one of those Egyptian goddesses on it, Sekhmet. And on the table was different little stones and crystals and everything. And we spoke about it briefly or whatever. But, I made the inference like, yeah, this bitch into that extra shit. Got like little stones and shit, hematite and all of that. Which hematite and lapis lazuli, those things are not evil within itself, but then they take it and attribute it to left-hand means. Then a guy I work with, we talk here and there, whatever, cool guy, and he was telling me about his woman was getting into that stuff. She had like the little table, okay, and she started putting food on it. And he told her, like, look, you gotta quit. Now he don't, Jake don't really know, but Jake, we are Israelites. So somewhere in our spirit, we know right from wrong. So he got his little tweaks where he need to be, taught. But he knew that shit wasn't right. He like, hey, you gotta quit. He like, look, we gonna break up. You can't keep doing that shit. He come home and you got a plate of food on the table. As high as fucking food is. You done separated some shit and put it on this here table. Ain't nobody finna come eat that shit. Setting out cookies and milk for Santa Claus. It's the same shit. That prepare a table for that troop and that furnish the drink offering unto that number. Now, let's read it over here in the right, the NIV. But as for you who forsake the Lord and forget my holy mountain, who spread a table for fortune. Now, in Babylon, these were gods. The god of fortune. Because Gad means troop, all right? The so-called Native Americans, but it also means good fortune. And fill bowls of mixed wine for destiny, all right? And that's what these people do it for. They do it. You saw it. You saw the highlight of the the preview. It was about money and this, that, and the third. So they want money, a good life, and a man or whatever. Destiny, money, and marriage, right? So that's what they're doing, man. And they don't get it. I'm gonna read verse 12. Therefore will I number you to the sword, and you shall all bow down to the slaughter, because when I called you did not answer, when I spake you did not hear, but did evil before mine eyes, and did choose that wherein I delighted not. The Lord don't delight in that shit. Everybody hollering, I'm spiritual. I don't believe I'm spiritual. You're about as spiritual as a goddamn can of paint. You ain't spiritual. You an idiot. You a bald head, purple, neon green wig wearing dummy. And you stink and you gonna die. And you might get your right arm ripped off by dogs. One dog. Hey, you had a woman that just got mauled to death. The dog ripped her arm off and proceeded to tear away her side, damaging her organs. All right? Who knows what she was into? Maybe she was into this shit here. I looked up something on Grok. Do witches decorate their doorposts? Witches, as depicted in folklore, fiction, or modern spiritual practices, like Wicca, don't have a universal tradition of decorating doorposts in a specific way. However, some practices tied to witchcraft or pagan traditions might involve placing protective symbols, charms, or items at entryways, including doorposts to ward off negative energy or invite blessings. Yeah, you pour a line of salt at your entryway. Nigga, that shit don't fucking work. All that look goofy, man, that shit don't work, man. Wiccan or pagan practices. Some modern witches might place runes, sigils, or small talismans like herbs, crystals, or written spells on or above doorways for protection or intention setting. This varies by individual or tradition, folklore, and certain. And this is like a low level. See, the elites give you niggas a low level form. Just keep you busy, something to do. Right? They speaking of, they dealing with spirits face to face. All right. It says, in certain European traditions, symbols like pentacles, I don't know what the hell a pentacle is. I know penta mean 5, or bundles of herbs, rosemary or sage. And sage, we burn sage. All right. Ain't no wrong with sage. Sage have healing properties. Sage, burning sage, all right, not only does it smell good, and you got different types. You got the white, the blue, the black, but it actually gets rid of 95% of fecal particles in the atmosphere in your home. All right. It says, and we burn incense in the temple or whatever, but it's the intention behind things, okay? Sage ain't wicked in itself. It says, might be hung near doors to repel evil spirits, though not always specifically on doorposts. Cultural overlaps. In some cultures, practices like hanging horseshoes, mezuzahs, and Jewish tradition, we're going to deal with that in a second, or other protective charms near entrances could be adopted or adapted by those identifying as witches. Okay, so wait a minute. Because whatever the Lord say do, the left hand try to respond. So this is Deuteronomy 6:4. Hear, O Israel, the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, our power is one Lord, and thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thine heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy might. And these words which I command thee this day shall be in thine heart, and thou shalt teach them diligently unto thy children, and shalt talk of them when thou sittest in thine house, and when thou walkest by the way, and when thou liest down, and when thou risest up. And thou shalt bind them for a sign upon thine hand, and they shall be as frontlets between thine eyes. And thou shalt write them upon the posts of thy house and on thy gates. See, that's what we supposed to do. But the left hand, they do the opposite version. All right, salt at the entry, little stuff at the top. People do that, you know. They do. I've had conversations with people. I know they do. All right. But anyway, Lord's will, that was edifying to the hopeful elect. All praises, glory, and honor unto Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai Ba'ashem Rakah Kodash Shalom.